And now I'm at the point where I'm going to adding that side sectional view of the cabinets, and I'm also going to include the 4-inch toe kick. This is so you can put your foot uh, rest comfortably underneath the counter and you don't bang into it all the time. So let's add those components to my drawing, and then we will go from there to add more specific details using our plan as the generator and see if we can locate where a window might be. I'll include the 4-inch toe kick while I'm here. You can see I've drawn out the base cabinet, uh, and I've also have the upper cabinet. And now I'm going to go for the 4-inch. So remember I told you I always look for the middle because then you know that's 6, 5, 4. So half-inch scale, a little tricky to read because there are a lot of increments. But I have a good toe space, and this will carry all the way through. Maybe not to the, well, actually the fridge sometimes does have one. Okay, I'll carry that all the way through. This is going to be a wall, a door, so it doesn't need it. More wall. Okay, but this definitely does. And then when we go back and look at further instructions, we can see that there's a little indent that's also 4 inches. So we'll go back to our drawing to include that. Half-inch scale is a little annoying to work with, only because this one is so large. I probably need to cut this in half on a bandsaw so I don't, as I bump in. I have a short drawing area here. So we have this in. This now is our cabinet. So let's signal that it is a section cut and nothing that we should concern ourselves with. So we'll do these diagonals from end to end to create our X to show that it's a section cut, X or section. There, now we got some nice details. I can see that this is going to be a cab. This is going to be a cab. And then from the plan, I can see that I have cabinets on both, flanking both sides. Okay, so let's include those. And I came up here, I have this 36-inch height. So these are going to be cabinets. Now this is the stove. So there's also going to be a range hood that goes over this. And I'm going to try to put some cabinets above the fridge. And it might be too high for convenient use, but let's just put those in here. And I'm going to designate some space for a hood. They come in different sizes, but I'll go for a 6-inch hood. This is going to catch the fumes. And sometimes I like to leave the range open a little bit more so that you have room to move big pots and pans out of the way. Let's get this. So this part's going to take a little stagger and then the hood will start. Let's go look at details. Okay. So we find ourselves back in the modules to kind of get, you can see here that there is a 1-inch countertop, so we can make that into our drawing. Here is some kind of kitchen hood that expands 2 ways. These might be spice racks, but it's hard to tell right here. And we can add those. Let's check out our plan. So looking at the example that's been put up, we can kind of say with the space that we have, where are possibilities where we can divide in half, or where on these cabinets is there only enough room for one cabinet? And so we have our layout here. Let's take a look at what I have going on. Lift up. Okay, so this I can find the middle, right? And I can, one way I can do that is to do that diagonal from side to side. And that usually reveals the middle for me using some geometry, simple. So one here. This opens up. This looks like it's going to be a single. Um, and same here. Let's see. Cabinets, cabinets. Okay, so everything here will be a single, and then this one can probably be a double. So this is above the fridge. And you have to be alert when you're doing this. I know I got pretty distracted because I keep drawing the line through the fridge. So it's once you get the fridge established, then we're going to figure out what does the paneling look like. And that's actually more of a separate thing, but I'm pretty happy with what I have here for representing how do you make the initial strike into things. So I'm going to show you a couple of images that for to continue in this, what I opened up with. Okay, I started this module with this interesting drawing that's taking place on YouTube, but kind of wanted to show you like those in detail. These are details that you think about later when you decide what kind of cabinets you want. Do you want trim up here? So this first little video kind of shows you different techniques that you could use. I also have some more resources on this module. Let's go. You get a lot of cabinets from the vendors, and so if you just look out on the internet, many different styles, you can see that all the measurements pretty much are the same, and you choose modules of what you like. And so once you get to a vendor that you like and the style you like, you can see what they have available, and you try to plug in these numbers for their fit. So maybe you do 2 10s for or 20 for this 20, something like that. Down in the second link, there's kitchen cabinets and specifications. And then you have to also decide what kind of door type. The one shown from the renderer uh, has this bevel, or you could just do a shaker style, which is just without the bevel. Then there's recessed panel, which is most typical. And then there's the flush, no trim or anything else, just the material is speaking. So you decide what kind of panels that you want, and this is all based on the style that you're looking for. And that's a good start, and we've done some good things in this last video. Now, I want to fill up some of the remaining time just to talk a little bit about interior elevations, and I want to refer to the professional practice of architectural working drawings. Let's go take a look at what I had picked out for us. Okay, so we can see that we take our plans from our elevations from the plan, and each time we do a view, and you only take these right angle views. You can't, you don't really want to take a side angle view because all the drawing will turn out kind of funny looking because it gets skewed. Um, you can see other drafting considerations. If we mobile with our scanner, this is what it looks like, a typical elevation. This is the door, and this little symbol shows which way the door swings, and the little hatch lines here indicate how many shelves, right? One shelf is in here, upper and lower, but you might have a taller cabinet that might get up to 3 shelves. And this one opens here, opening that way, and this one from the center. Let's say there's a hand, or probably up here, handrail to do that. A couple of considerations. Do you want flush overlay doors, face frame, or backside? And just keep it simple. We'll just do a basic. And some more things I wanted to show are sometimes In some drawings, we talked about how you want to create that rectangle frame, or it doesn't have to be a rectangle. But whatever you draw, if there is something that enters into the ceiling space, you need to show that. In some places, they leave out the side cabinet and just show the void, so it looks kind of funny like that. So, but some people do that, and it's legitimate. So this shows each elevation I'm going to look at with my eye. Number one, number two, and number three. And then I'm going to list the page that these separate illustrations are going to be on. Here's a cabinet in League, also showing how the door is on the hinge and how it opens should you have a pantry. Down here at the kick space, that 4-inch kick space, we'll go right over here, and there's always a vinyl topping here, and this keeps dirt from accumulating here by having a rounded edge. It makes the dirt or dust, whatever, flow downwards, and it's easier to clean. So you allow us to see some kind of vinyl, or it could be wood, or it could be an upgrade material. Here's an old-fashioned kind of look. So you'll see where they use wood to at least move away from the wall so that you can capture dirt. And even a more simple one is using a half bevel dove here. And we'll end on this grand drawing. Here we have the three kinds of drawings that we can obtain. We have our grand perspective, which is great for visual rendering to show others the idea and the concept. Then we have our floor plan, which shows true dimensions and which we will make our elevations from. And also we're going to need to include windows. So I lost my, and then finally, to create an elevation full-fledged, you need to document all the cabinets that are in your room. And sometimes you can indicate materials with hatching. You have room for the window. As you get more advanced, we'll see next week, we'll talk about electrical sockets and we'll show those. This is only a 12-inch space in here, so it's not greatest because it gets pretty thin in there. They've also shown the pans, how far down they go, drawers if you want them. And that's a pretty good start for interior elevations. Once you have done them for a while, a lot of these things are just second nature and it'll be easy flow. Thanks for tuning in today.